Karen, I am so happy to welcome you to Metaphysical Meltdown this morning. It was a small meltdown, but here we are. You know, I trust and love technology, or that's what I was saying as this was happening. So I would love to introduce you, but I think you could introduce yourself even better.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about you. I'm honored to have you today.
Thank you. I'm known as Karen MacDonald. I am a mom of 2 children, and I'm also the hereditary 13th, what we call international, the tribes will know as a white bear clan head matriarch or head mama. The bear mama with a couple swords, a little tartan, you know, some dragons,
All right.
that kind of thing. And anyway, otherwise known as Octarian as well, starseeds. Okay, so that's part of the intergalactic or galactic, or as they call it, international. I'm the old hag.
Okay.
The hag court. And I'm also a former registered nurse. So I was nursing since 1984. So I've been at nursing 35 years. I was a former neonatal intensive care nurse at the Royal University Hospital, which is in Saskatoon by the University of Saskatchewan here on my mother's land. So I want to thank you first of all. I know it's been quite a effort to try and get on the air. We've been probably sabotaged every way we could think of today. And we appreciate you being there and getting this, you know, the truth out and having fun and getting back to gifting and sharing our gifts freely and speaking freely. So thanks for being there and understanding. This is an exciting time to be around right now, actually.
Oh my gosh, it is. And
Yeah.
we've been holding our breath for so long, wondering if it's actually going to happen. And here we are right in it today. So
Yeah,
I have to
absolutely.
tell you, since I worked with you, what was it, a week and a half ago or whatever, all kinds of things have happened. And you did something that no one else has been able to do, which is get me to stop eating sugar.
Really?
I did. I
Yes.
did everything you told me to do. I'm still waiting on a couple things to come from Amazon. Who knows why Amazon, you know, took forever to get the enema stuff. There's a whole thing going on there. I don't know. But I did everything else you said. So I can't wait to listen to how you are going to explain this technology. It's fascinating. And we have a couple people. I sent you their information, so they're already in place. I'm glad we did it that way. So go ahead and tell us about the technology or whatever else you want to start with.
Okay, I think one of the most beginning points, like anything, is what's going on. Is tapping into, I don't need a third guide or intermediary or something like that. The idea of doing reading for people, I don't read them. They're actually reading themselves. That's the point of having a genius biofeedback, that you're tapping into your own innate wisdom. Okay? So I don't need to go to someone for confession. I certainly don't need to talk to some third party to figure out and disempower myself. So these machines and the technology have been around for a long time. I did the old skill. I'm one of the original ones, you know, way back when. And so some people call it the pulsed energetic magnetic field here. And basically what happens is we have an electrical field around us. And in that electrical field is a grid. And once you get sort of into the grid and stuff like that, what starts happening is that it breaks down. So through whether you get viruses, bacteria, Wi-Fi, 5G, whatever, it breaks our electrical magnetic field. So as a nurse, everyone's constantly, oh, what's in your blood? What's in your stool? What's in your urine, right? And they diagnose you, which is always means going against knowledge. That's what it means. So it's a very legalese, medicalese word. And the last thing you want to be is cursed with something that means nothing. So anyway, that's what we're actually repairing here. Okay, so some people call it the bioelectrical field, some people call it the Merkaba, some people call it the aura, whatever we want to say. It's about having immunity and having that bubble around us, which should be about 9-10 feet, somewhere in there. So my immune system, my plasma, my shit, my spidey senses should fill this entire room, technically. And we all should have that. And if you don't, we need to look for where it's broken. And that's where the technology of genius biofeedback or genius insight comes into. And so then we'll talk about steaming and doing all sorts of wonderful things here. So this is not new technology, but it's like having a Tesla thing, like Star Trek. I'm instead of bones, you get me.
Right.
The ship's nurse. Clan mothers are the head of the nation, by the way. So people, when they want to look at something like that, they want to get into matriarchal and find out what your original, like who you are, really who you are, what lineage you come from. They can go to Tribal Laws, Meredith Quinn. and very important. So I'm AB positive. I have the original. I'm the first one. Law of the land is who landed here first, and it's my mother's. So international peacekeeping. So that's kind of what's going on here. So I'll talk a little bit about that, and then I want to talk about hands-on stuff. So I literally just, as we were coming on, I had actually someone in here. So we're setting up. I'm normally in Saskatoon, and right now I'm in Calgary. So I just met with the, spent the week with David Avocado Wolf and Christina McMillan and the whole crew here, setting up things that were at the Light Cellar, and now we're setting up satellite centers here. So I've been actually sharing just like what we're going to do with you. So I will give a link. If it's not in below, you can get a hold of me at clanmother13@gmail. And I'm at lots. If someone just Googles Karen MacDonald or Karen Ann MacDonald or Karen Lucic MacDonald, they're going to find Project Ascension. You'll find thousands of hours. And because we are on Facebook, if you go to my photo albums, you're going to find tons of that. So one of the first people that we, looked at in here, you gave me a couple people to look at. We can do, and I don't like to say readings because it's beyond psychic reading, if that makes sense. The individual's reading themselves. Okay, so it's very sacred. So anything that is of privacy or of a, as you think, a delicate nature will not go on the air. That's something they can get a hold of me. And I usually provide like at least an aura scan and what herbs and oils you need. And then we talk about pH and alkalinity and how to get clean. So what this actually does, it turns your phone or iPad or anything into like a Tesla coil field. It's kind of as the nursing, it's like between an ultrasound and an MRI. So it pulses out electrical magnetics that are not Wi-Fi dependent. Okay, so I know all about 5G. This is the antithesis to 5G. 5G is microwaves. This is very long radio waves.
Yes.
Okay, so there's no radiation damage from this. Also, it's a software program, an app, and it will always come and say untrusted, which means that it is safe and that you're not paying for it in the Apple store. Okay, so we have to make an extra step in your actual settings of the device, either a phone, iPad, or iTab to operate it. So I'm going to give everyone a free link. Okay, and if nothing else, go to geniusbiofeedback.com.
Okay.
And just fill out, because we have an iOS version and we have an, for the Androids, and we have an Apple version too. Okay, so basically, let's say, okay, who was one of the first ones you gave me there? We looked at a couple. I guess I can just do it in the order that you gave me too. Okay, one of the ones you gave me was Anne. Anne M.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do a couple like 5-10 minute reads for each one, and then we can go into what I would do for a cleanup. We'll talk about oils. I'm going to talk about an amethyst crystal bed you'll see behind me here, and I'm going to take you into the most important thing, which is a steam chair. So I want women and men. I have guys in here today too. They're on steam chairs. That's what they had tartans for. I'm a little tart.
I did get my steam chair, I'll have you know.
Yeah, I do. I want to challenge anyone to go look at yoni womb pearls or something like that. And another thing you can make up is herbal tampons that go inside the womb, or we make aromatherapy suppositories. Anyone that knows anything about medicine knows that you got to heal the root chakra first. So everything I talk about you is called walking the red path, which is getting your earth or grounding. Everything has to come down the physical, and that's the same thing. It's not taking something through your mouth in the 5th dimension, trying to think it's going to fix something. You got to go back to, and that's what we'll talk about, enemas and colonics. That colonic machine becomes your placenta, the mother. And that's why after, 3, 4, 5 sessions or doing enemas, for a month or two, you're going to start getting rid of physical, mental, and emotional things. Okay, so it's not about getting rid of poop. It's negative energy, other people's negative energy that's in you.
Yes.
Okay? Every little morsel of poop is someone else's negative energy in you and can feed things interdimensionally. So whether you want to call them archons, parasites, candida, call it what you want. Okay, so one of the first ones in here we're going to get was actually Anne. And again, it can be with knowing someone or not knowing someone. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to type in here Anne's name here, and we're going to start a new analysis here. Okay, so previously, basically, all I need is I can get your picture, your birth date, a voice, none of the above. Okay, so it's not about doing that. So we're actually going to do a new analysis. And on this page, it allows us to actually have a microphone here. So when you get your own app, you can hit the microphone and you'll see it will start recording your voice. Everyone's got a voice imprint. And like a voice imprint, we also can be biohacked very easily through implants or prescriptions, things like that. So it will record the voice, and it's like a stethoscope that goes inside. So as a nurse in the old days, I would use a stethoscope. Today, I don't need, like, you know, sorry or whatever. Last song. This is very, very accurate. So it bounces things back through sound waves. And then what happens is we're going to take then a selfie. What it does is it converts your voice into a digital algorithm. So we can actually read your voice on a computer imprint. Okay, and then we're going to send sound things back to you at twice the speed of light. So anyway, the next one we would be is taking her and taking the picture. And then what we do is we're just going to take an analysis of it. So I'm going to look at the aura field around her. And again, it's not the aura. You're actually talking inside and outside. You have multiple timelines, some internal and some external. They don't teach that. So everyone thinks, oh, I got, you know, one main one and, you know, 12 other ones, 13 lines, but they go outside. And that's what most people are missing. So within seconds, all we have to do is hit one button. It says begin analysis. And within seconds, it's analyzing and sending things. So go up to here, up to the satellite, and down to her within seconds. Okay, and it's very cool to do this in real time, just like Star Trek. So in here, if I wanted to look at her auric field right now, I just hit aura and hit begin. So it's very, very user-friendly. Those of us that used to do the biofeedbacks in the old days, the SKIOE doctors and all those other ones, you had to be a programmer, and it's like $30,000 machines, and, you know, they're university, and that's like, you know, $50,000, $100,000 investment, where these are available for free to $97 a month, you know, or people could become a whole naturopath under a couple thousand, you know, so very, very easy to do that with very little investment. Okay, there's the field. So you can actually see the colors around there.
Yes.
Okay. And so what happens is that, again, if everything's all healthy, you look like a pink flamingo. You know, and when we start going it down lower and lower and lower, then we're getting into the visible spectrum. So what I'm actually measuring initially is in the invisible spectrum of the electrical, magnetic, visual. Okay, so it's outside in the radio waves. Okay. So if we can't almost like get a heat signature off you, then we got to go inside and start fixing up and seeing what's going on. So a very nice one, but again, it could be use some help there. Okay. So I take a snapshot here in the background, and then I can send it to her email.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing, if I want to go into just the system overview, I can just quickly look at the top and the bottom things. And that's really what people want. Okay. What's the symptom? What are the issues? What are the causes? And just tell me what to drink. I just want to know what to drink. I just want to know what herb, what oil. And more importantly, like you're learning, is using the steam chairs, enemas, and colonics to remove the old stuff. Okay, that's from this past life. We need to start a new life. You know, it's a new age. You need to get rid of the old stuff. Okay, so one of the things that comes up here quickly, and I've got pages and pages of red here, okay? And those are the issues in the tissues that I want to look at. So when I slow it down, first thing is it says the triple heater, the triple warmer meridian, acupuncture meridians are blocked. Okay. The other thing is different things to do with paint fumes, anything like that, chlorine, fluoride, Tide, anything like that is to clear those things away. Nail polish. A lot of women are so sick. That's why they're doing all these nail polish things, because they're so mineral deficient and they're putting fake things on. So anything, again, the paint fumes in there. Allergy to shellfish. So any kind of fishes right now, very dangerous to the system, not just Fukushima, but heavy metals and stuff. Large intestine and the liver intestine meridians are blocked up. Now there's a hormonal issue going on, which when you start getting the colon with the biofilm, or it starts getting plaqued up, you know, with viruses and bacteria, what happens is we start getting anxiety. So anxiety is an emotion because of old energy not releasing. Okay, so it's not just depression, but this is the big one. I have anxiety. Well, there's an oil for that, and there's actually an enema or steam chair for that too. So the anxiety comes up, and one of the things up there is thyme and pine. So pine essential oil and thyme is some of the remedies. So you're telling and seeing actually what herb, what oil do we need to go into for her.
Beautiful.
Okay. The other thing is I see vitamin C deficiency. And again, vitamin C deficiency could be just fixed with camu or something like, you know, goji berries or something very simple. going into here. So, and again, some amino acids are deficient. Someone might say get some spirulina drinks or something like that. So I want to just know now, that was the symptoms. I want to go down to the causes here. And old remorse, but there's something in the spine called C6, which is just above the throat thyroid, but the back of the neck. Okay, so something is locked up in there. And I can go in and seriously go in, I could do just all the herbs, all the oils, all the spines, all the meridians too, right? But when you're just doing a 5-10 minute read, we're just going to the top and the bottom. A lot of people, they feel loneliness and stuff like this. This could be something from childhood or being in a crowd, but not having here. All the rest of these are basically acupuncture meridians blocked. So sometimes people will get into chronic pain and stuff like that, you know, without knowing it. Now, what comes up for her just on the main frame, one is sensitivities, which means allergies, which means, and hormones. So those are in the red. And then the other things that I scroll down into here, minerals. Most people are very mineral deficient, i.e. they're fracked, leaky gut. And that's the biggest thing I'm seeing is people, you're not depressed or have a, you know, chemistry imbalance. You have lack of electrolytes and minerals. So replacing it with, you know, Celtic or Himalayan salt water every day, doing saltwater enemas a couple times a week, putting the minerals back. And we can go right into which minerals are there. So whatever she's not absorbing here, like magnesium, barium, I'm actually putting it into a tray. So you're seeing me add things in here. I'm touching it, it highlights. That will then convert it into medicine. And I have a plate or headphones you can attach to this device and then make your own actually remedy. So it's not just it, you can put it into a physical form again and redo it. So not what you say, grounded copper.
Okay.
So copper, when that comes up, can you see that okay? Because it's reflecting really bad in my.
I don't know what it means, but I can see it.
Okay.
Oh,
so
there I can see it. Yeah, sorry, it was just not.
Okay. Yes. I'm getting a bad reflection and that's what it is. Okay. I'll just have to re-angle everything. So anyway, that's what's happening. I'm actually taking that copper, she's deficient in here, and dropping it into the box and adding it. So we're gonna make a copper drink for her.
Okay.
Okay, so what we can actually make is vitamin water or mineral water or things like that, herbal waters, teas. And so one of the sensitivities that come up in here is outstander animal fat. So this is again, allergy to animals and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so this is again, leading people towards healthier lifestyles, or fruitarians and vegetarians, that kind of thing. Okay, and cheese, huge cheese allergy here. It's almost off the charts. And oats, so if people are doing oatmeals, it should be gluten-free. Okay, so one of the other things that comes up is the meridians. And in the meridians, this is where you get to play Chinese medical doctor. And you're undoctoring. So what we do is we have the meridian down here. I open it up. And when I open it up, it will show me actually which meridian on her is blocked.
It might be better to hold it back further. I think maybe we can see it better. No, it's really reflective. It's difficult to see.
Okay, you know what? Just give me 1 sec, if you could just bear with me. I'm going to try and shut all the light here. Okay. There's nothing worse than trying to show you something when you can't see it. So I'm going to do that. So again, going to the app in here. Let's see if I can shut down enough of this glare. Maybe that's part of it. I'm getting a glare back here too.
Yeah, we really can't tell what it is.
I have never had this happen. I don't know what's going on.
Though it's pretty, I can see you kind of darkly. Oh, you know what? I can see you so much better now. Yes, I bet you it's going to be better now.
I don't know what's here.
There you are.
I don't know what's going on. I've never had this quite happen. Let's try it again. Because the point of this is to record and see what you can see.
Not much better.
You know what? I'm coming near stuff, near the camera, and it's just scrambling everything like a radiation screen.
It sure is, because it's scrambling you behind and all kinds of stuff too. There's the energy.
I can see that. That's targeting, by the way.
Energy is crazy.
Yeah, it's targeting us. So that's what you call targeted individual. Sometimes certain people don't want this information out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this as soon as I get in, everything's scrambled within the computer. Okay, so whatever, where I can, because I can see what's coming back, and it's definitely been scrambled off the screen. Basically what it is there's a picture that comes up of her, like in a, you know, a model, and then we can actually see what meridian is there. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to just convert this into sound waves right now, because at least the healing will go out to her.
Oh, good.
I can see the pixelation. It feels like I just see waves going in and out. It's weird. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, number one thing that comes up is copper deficiency. Okay, and grounding. That's why I really want people to look at these women detox things. So the other thing is fluorine, epinephrine, again, flight or flight. So those are hormones and stuff that are hormonal imbalances. Governing vessel number 10, which is going up the kind of the belly button, you know, up there. So you got your conception in the front, but it would be in the back part here, conception 10. Okay, loneliness, CV, and again in here. So basically what I'm gonna do is just play the sounds.
Okay.
So you can do this with or without sounds. What's really, really nice, right, is to actually put some water there. So what I can do is actually get a glass of water. I know I just get near here and it just like scrambles everything. So what I'm doing is I'm got it back here running. And I don't know if you can hear at least the tones?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah. So the tones are actually going out, and within 3 minutes, I've gone up to me, to the satellite, and down to her.
Very good.
So she should be starting to tingle. Most people, because we're giving positive things like copper and things like that, it's going to start giving them copper if they need it, and it's going to start affecting their governing vessels, so they might start tingling in those places too. So most people that are empathic and have their spidey senses still intact will feel it. So I can feel it moving actually my left arm.
Yes, I can feel it too.
Yeah. So it's going through and you're hearing it go on and stop. So what it's doing is it's going in and it's going through what's called sine wave, square wave, sawtooth wave, all sorts of waves. Okay, so it has a multiple Royal Rifer sulfidial tone generator in here. So we can generate whatever sound waves it takes to, I'm detonating a bug basically. We're imploding it. So if people want to go to that, they can see the technology part behind the scalar wave. So the military, by the way, and the Army has been using this for like 70 years. We've been using it in Johns Hopkins University. I use it all. This is Russian technology. You know, we've had this since, for 70 years. This is how their doctors and nurses operate back there. So you got to fix that up. So anyway, what I do is I just stop that. I go back and I take a look at the aura again. And I want to see what kind of a positive changes happen in here. And I don't know if we're just recording, so we don't have anyone else in the chat room, but I don't know if you're monitoring. This is going onto Facebook later, or?
It will go onto Facebook, yes.
Okay. And so what's going to happen is I am going to now put another picture of Anne and see where we're going from there.
Okay.
And then what I would do is get some herbs and oils, and I'm going to see what are the ones specific customized for her based on the session too.
Okay.
So, okay, so what we do is we start cleaning up into here, into the brain. Really kind of hard to see in these colors here.
Yeah, I can't really see it.
Yeah, the minute I get in, it just blanks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of energy they're using to target here off the 5G is phenomenal. Okay, she'll get a color of it, but basically it's turquoise up in here.
Okay.
And then underneath it's very dark orange. Okay, it's almost like potash, that color of a salmon.
Okay.
If you know that color. So there's a salmon sort of coloring in here that's happening. And so I really want to clean up that second chakra. It's really damaged. And again, that's a women's creativity center. So again, what we've got in there, uterus, ovaries, there's something going on in there. And again, that part of what's called the large intestine and small intestine too is affected.
Okay.
Okay. So that's basically what we would do. And then what I can do is then just send a quick little report off to, and there's a little section back here. And it takes about 2 days for her to get the report, because it's not just an email, it's going to us back to the office to get analyzed and then sent back over to her. So that's kind of always fun. So we have an email section and then do it that way.
Okay.
And I usually will send this and show what we looked at, the minerals, the vitamins, the sensitivities, herbs and oils, and then I'm going to draw up a second list. And that will be the herbs and oils that she's got. So one of the things we're doing here to send to her, my green dragon, I guess. I always send a copy to me. I don't keep files on people after running health centers and having staff. That's a pain in the butt. So your information is your information. It changes daily, right? So there's no such thing as like in the lab where, you know, this is a stagnant type of, you know, your blood value should be exactly this. It's not the way this works actually here, which is kind of funny. So I'm gonna send that off to her and juno.com. And yeah, so what did you notice for changes since we did our session there?
When I spoke to you on that day, my stomach was like a 10 out of 10. My stomach's now a 3 out of 10. And wow. I completely changed my diet. I'm eating within an 8-hour window or less.
Right. And
that feels better. I noticed that the puffiness is gone in my stomach. I lost about 6 pounds.
Wow.
I just am so solid. I mean, I could have a Starbucks coffee in front of me and I wouldn't drink it.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things too, is once we start getting cleaned out, it's like once you realize poison is poison, it's the incentive or the motivator not to do it. Once you start getting alkalized, you don't want things acidic. You know, like it's like once you know something, you don't go back. You know, it's one thing to, you know, play with it once in a while, but when you are living like this every day or stuff like that, it makes a huge shift. And I can't emphasize that enough. The other girl that gave me was Linda M.
Okay.
Okay. So again in here, we will simply go in and find out what we can for her. And I like doing, again, 10-minute demos for people. I will do a 10-minute demo, complimentary or free. Okay. And if people want to do sessions and get into in-depth stuff, well, then we can do that as well. Okay, so normally we can skip the voice or whatever here, and then we will use her photo here.
Okay.
Yeah, the minute I come back, I just see it like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an X-ray.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. That's some wild frequency there. Right? Anyway, Linda, this one's for you. The aloha thing here. So what we're gonna do, we'll get the aura and stuff too. Okay, we're gonna begin the analysis again. Very simple. Voice, photo, birthday, bang. And what you can do, like I said, if you're at home and you don't have wristbands and stuff like that, you can actually put just I go to the Dollarama store. I don't know if you have them down there, but Dollarama, Dollar Tree, whatever you got. But you can get those little, you know, earmuff little earphones. They're like $2, $3 and just put them on and plug yourself in. And then you can actually directly put the electrical magnetic field right on you. So it's not just on that field, you can bring it right in to the physical.
Okay.
So those of us actually have like little wristbands. So if I've got a client here today, I put the wristbands on her, or I'll put the headphones, and I've got a splitter where I can make a remedy as well. So in here, Linda M, her most thing that came up is the auric field. So those bioelectrical fields, it's being under psychic attack or, you know, Wi-Fi or whatever. So something's really going on. And again, inside out is outside in. She's got basically a total green here, and there's a purple line going up this way on the left side. Okay, so again, we want to open this up and open the timeline, and there's something kind of blocked on the left side in here. So it can go up through the head and what's called the ascending colon underneath the pancreas and spleen area. So I might want to look at that timeline meridian and stuff there and see what's going on. But other than that, it's pretty nice and green. Again, fourth dimensional, but we want to expand energy, right? We should be moving forward, not just kind of stuck in this sector. So one of the things that comes up with her is all minerals, vitamins, and today's stress. So in here again, like I said, most people are having leaky gut. They're low in calcium, they're low in copper, they're low in boron, and in her case, really low in iodine and boron. And so again, it could be something in the area that she lives in, especially West Coast and stuff like that. We're seeing a lot of the radiation. So a lot of people are deficient, especially when they're being hit with Fukushima and extra radiation. And on the West Coast, you got things like Caniford and stuff in Washington and all those areas leaking. So the whole West Coast is not just the shaking a little bit with the Cascadia, it's also with radiation. So the iodine's being depleted really heavily out of her system. So doing something like a nanescent iodine or something might be advantageous as well, temporarily. So we have to, you know, take all these things kind of in there. And again, a vitamin loss. So when I start seeing vitamin A not being absorbed, and at the bottom here, niacin and vitamin B6 here. So those are very, very low. And what happens is that, and folate. So some of these Bs are low. And then I'm going to see, it's not just a matter of taking some vitamin B supplements, you know, because that can lead to depression and stuff. But when you get vitamin deficiency, it's because of parasite overload, candida. So these are people who want to go into candida-free, yeast-free kind of intakes. You know, removing the anti-inflammatory acidic stuff, coffee, wheat, dairy, cheese, breads. You know, looking again, if you're looking at wheat bread with the glyphosate, look at some rice bread. If you're used to dairy, get some almond milk or hemp milk or oat milk or something. If you're used to coffee, try some reishi or shaga coffee. You know, give something a little bit different. And I've got everyone on black lemonade. I'm big on the black stuff now. Black absorbs, okay? So the gin and stuff like that in our energy fields, black lemonade is amazing. So just look that up. It's basically lemonade with some activated charcoal. And I have everyone just about on half a teaspoon of charcoal these days just to keep up. There's so many chemicals in the air and so much air pollution, you know. And we're seeing so many people with vaccines and they're shedding off stuff, including microscopic, like you know, the aluminum and the mercury and the aerosol. They're actually coughing this onto people right now, you know. So it's almost like bad enough in the air pollution, the chemicals coming down. Now we're gonna have people like throwing like Lysol at us, you know, with the chemicals too. So the other thing too is she's very electrically sensitive. Okay, and UHF, so electrical things, and when we get a lot of heavy metals and implants and mercuries, it makes us more receptible. So I would say there's something definitely going on, you know, here. And like I say, if you don't have a big hot pink or purple energy field that I'm not seeing on these girls, right? They're gonna be open to anything in the higher chakras. You'll see things like memory loss, eyes, ears, vision, hearing, that kind of thing. Dental, huge dental issues now. We're seeing a lot of people. So again, there's a high overload of metallics in there. Okay, and sometimes with that too, you can get ringing in the ears and stuff like that, not just tinnitus. But one of the things, let's say for Linda here, these are her top herbs and oils, which would be lavender, fennel, spearmint, and lemon comes up. A lot of tree stuff. So I have all my clients that said, if you can never go wrong with a tree. Look to nature. You have to plant a garden every year, but trees don't have to be planted every year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anything off a tree, shaga mushroom, reishi mushroom, what else? We could, you know, anything that's hardy, that's there, like bush, like sea buckthorn, goji berries, Saskatoon berries, blueberries. Any of your tree bushes are really, really excellent for mineralization and juicing. And, you know, Saskatoon berries. I'm out of Saskatoon, I can say that. We got lots of Saskatoon berry bushes. The other thing too, lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruit. Okay. Not only in aromatherapy and juicing. Then you go into your essential oils of pine tree for the third eye. Pine, spruce, fir, cedarwood, like the Rhine cedars of Russia, sandalwood. Those are all amazing things. Spruce is for the bones. Again, if you start doing just literally tree stuff, chocolate tree, by the way, raw cacao, most people don't know is a tree. So I have chocolate aromatherapy.
I like it.
Very, very important. So it's not just about putting on the skin, it's about taking it internally. So I get mine a lot at Nev Essence, which is nevessence.com.
Okay.
And you can also look up some of these therapeutic ones I take internally, like oregano and thyme. I make, you know, like thieves pills and stuff. You can make your own aromatherapy pills, right?
Okay.
So don't hesitate to do that. Now, of course, I'm big into steam, and we'll, as soon as I get our other Linda done, Linda J, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to go and apply this at home.
Okay.
Okay. So one of the things in here is milk thistle, which is liver. Turmeric, again, anti-inflammatory. So again, you can start seeing where some different things are going on. Lemongrass, ashwagandha. And I just spent the weekend and on Monday till about 2 in the morning with David Wolf and all the crew here. We all got together. We were all sharing information. We were doing this kind of thing. So we all have multiple, you know, projects that we do. Biofeedback is definitely one of it. And the Genius is at the forefront right now. It's the one that's portable. It's the one that you don't need university for. And like I said, it's very, very user-friendly in here. So those herbs and oils I put into here for her, and this will be the tones of it. So when we go into this, we want to see what comes to the top. And once you get, let's say, a Genius or start getting a remedy plate, you never have to buy supplements again. So we have imported or implanted or replicated or whatever you say, Tesla coiled into it, the frequencies of like over 60, 70,000 substances. And all of us that have one keep imprinting. So I took all of David Wolf's stuff here, like, you know, he's coated silver, better than colloidal silver. Because we now have a coated silver at 20,000 parts per million, not 20.
Wow.
okay? And it's a different kind of a coating. It's a different bonding thing. So I just got the first sample of that. And Tony at Nevessence just made the most incredible yoga spray, but I don't care. It's got pink lotus in it. Everyone I've given to is like off the planet. So everyone wants his yoga spray now. It's not even on the market. I have it before it gets to the market a lot of times. So then we put it out. So one of the things too is arnica comes up, patchouli, niacin, tangerine, and turmeric and spearmint. Okay, so a lot of oils in there. And again, you could do it on the tummy, on your feet, and you can basically call what's called raindropping or aromatherapy massage. And I'll show you how I do mine a little bit different there.
That'd be great.
Okay, so what I'm doing back here is we're playing the tones for Linda. Dang, that thing is this awful, that camera. I tell you, I've never seen, I just come in and it's the field coming off here right now. It's too bad. I wish people could see here. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere I can go back far enough that they can even.
Yeah, there's just nothing.
Yeah, they're scrambling devices. The nice thing though is you can hear the tones, okay? And like I said, you can always go to Genius Biofeedback or Genius Insight Health Apps and get the technology. What I really like is you can see people like Anthony Holland at TED Talks, and they were using these Genius and pulse energetic and sound bioresonant machines, and they were doing these in the cancer labs. And it took them 10 years, but they identified the sound or the frequency that would actually implode or kill every virus. So this is what they use for cancer therapy. I mean, no one would do chemo and radiation when you're actually putting radioactive material in you. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, just hair falling out tells you they've damaged your crown chakra. It's gone. The memory's gone. You know, so we have to look at very carefully. And again, a lot of this is vaccine recovery because the initial damage that was done to the brain and the memory centers from the heavy metals and stuff put in. So anyway, that's actually what's going on with her now. I think if there's any angle I can actually do it on. I feel like Vanna White here. Yeah. But yeah, it's too bad. It's just scrambling anything. So anyway, that would be what we're looking at for her. And what it can do as well is move into, again, the oils we talked about and the herbs and stuff like that. You know, like I said, the milk thistle, turmeric, you can make some teas. You could also use those teas as enemas and your steam for your yoni steam. So I usually tell women, go make up, 8 cups of tea. Drink 1, put 2 in your enema, and then put the rest into your steam pot. And then see how you do. And again, it's all recyclable and reusable and compostable. So this is the really, really cool thing about that. We also make something called extra libraries. And these extra libraries in here, basically what they'll do is give us extra information. So if the grid goes down and borders are shutting and people are in quarantine and they won't have access to stuff, this allows us to turn your phone into a naturopathic. Just trying to see if that will, yeah, it won't do anything. Okay, there's throat and thyroid things going on, and it's almost like a premenopausal, something's going on into the hormones in here. And a lot of emotional crying. There's also something in the dermatones and nerves. So the dermatones could be here, but underneath it's like the myofascia. This is kind of an easy way to do it. But there's definitely some stuff going on the thyroid and parathyroid area. And DHEA is really out of whack with her. And the dermatones, again, going into around T3 in there. So yeah, I see a bunch of stuff to do in here in vaccine recovery. Everything comes down to that microbiome. And again, yeah, and biofilm in here. So this actually, everything I'm scrolling in here is basically thyroid and gut stuff. So that would be kind of what we would be looking at for Linda.
Okay.
Linda M, and then we got a Linda J, right?
Yes.
And then I'm going to show you how to go and apply this in there. It's one thing to scan, it's a different thing to take it into a physical now. So right now it's reading our Akashic records, if that's what you want to think, cellular, it's reading our DNA, it's our codes. So in computer terms, it's doing the spyware, malware, Norton's antivirus. You're looking for the viruses in you. What doesn't belong, i.e. what is foreign or embedded that's screwing up your system.
Yes. What's
man-made? What's artificial intelligence? What's hanging out in there that doesn't belong? It's like, who are the people that don't belong in this picture? And so then what we can do is use the sine wave, and no different than when people have done it for, let's say, mice and stuff, where you put sound to scatter them. or sound waves and stuff like that. That's really what this is doing. It's again, most of it is not in your audible, auditory range, but it is happening. People go, how does this happen? I said, well, how are you where you're sitting and where am I sitting in Calgary? And we're talking in real time. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's a scalar carrier wave. It's at a frequency band. And so that's as simple as it is, and whether you do it in subspace or remote distance doesn't matter. I can have you hooked up with your headphones and then you're basically almost into an Ethernet type of thing too, that you're getting it in real time, and a direct magnetic thing as well. So on here, we want to send that off, and that's what I'm going to just do now as well. I'm talking is just send the reports off, and then we don't have to, we can just carry on and I don't lose anything. So it's kind of nice. And it just formulates a report. And again, anything high is what I looked at that was too high and too low. It means I've already dealt with that. I don't have to deal with it hopefully next time.
Okay.
Okay. And so it might be the calcium, and I was looking at, forms of getting, again, why is the calcium building up? Because you're not absorbing it because of the leaky gut. Okay. Some things build up, some things are getting depleted. So that's really kind of the area that I want to look in there. So these are all 3 friends of yours. Is that correct? Or
yes.
They all volunteered, did they? So we're going to give them a big shout out.
Yes. They're all wonderful people that are open to being the, just the, the guinea pig today, I guess.
That's great. That's great. And again, it's kind of neat when people will hear this on the recording, when it goes up and gets loaded to YouTube and stuff. What's very, very cool is they will listen to it, and then they're going to get the healing of the tones and the frequencies. And I love always seeing the comments later when you're, in real time doing that, because it's amazing. People go, this way, I think that's fixing me. So it's really neat to look at the YouTube comments later always. So that was kind of fun. So we're going to send that off to Linda M, and we're going to go on to Linda J then. Okay. And this is a great way to do it too. It's not throwing cards. It's not using a pendulum. And again, many people do not have a full, they're not, well, the extra meridian's done. They don't have access to all that information at a time. Right. So they're limited in what they can do for their readings. And when I actually scan them, I can go in, and I've actually walked into some of the top dowsers on the planet, and with my field, because it's so powerful, their pendulums won't move. Even if they're thinking, yes, they just won't move.
Ooh,
so again, people are very limited.
That's my first skill, was dowsing. So I can't wait to try and see if I can douse you.
Okay, and then see, I don't let people read me. Okay.
Oh, I wouldn't. Trust me.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
What happens is I've gone into that, right? And if you physically if I walked into your field right now, again, it's a higher vibration. What happens is you want to go into what's called entrainment. It's like when women start menstruating together, right? Or all the clocks start ticking together. That's the entrainment. You're always wanting to go to the higher frequency.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the difference again.
I would never read anybody who didn't say yes. I'm just teasing.
Yeah. I know. I hear it, but again, people don't realize that when they're getting supposedly read, they're read at that level. And the other thing too is, as you have breaks in those timelines, a lot of people are actually channeling things that maybe appear benevolent, but they're not. I mean, we have people that are channeling Greys, Orions, people with the various, things. So these guides are not always, in the top interest, or, they're hanging out in the interdimensional things. So, again, that's the mind controls type of stuff too that happens. And again, we see that happening in remote neural, monitoring of people and manipulation, which isn't always the coolest thing to go. So I'm going to go on to the next one, which is Linda J, right?
Yes.
Linda J.
Seen a lot of those folks lately.
Yeah. And again, we have to do things and start looking at things, let's say with bloodlines and stuff. So hard to say.
Oh, yes. Well, there she is, sort of.
Sort of. She's fading. And isn't that wild? You just come within there, and it's just like I said, it's like almost ghost-like. It's almost eerie when I'm looking at it in the back camera. I'm like, we'll see. Okay. Now what happens, we'll do the analysis for her as well. Oh, now it's coming in. Don't move. Okay. And again, there's some body systems and herbs. Her system is it's all red here. It's off the charts. And it's like, get this woman. We're going to look at her systems here. There's something going on. It says into the urinary and respiratory section, but the lowest ones are muscle and immune and skeletal. So I'm looking at that and something in the skin and hormone system. Okay, so the herbs that Linda requires: cinnamon, rhodiola, gynostema, lemongrass, echinacea, St. John's wort, aloe vera, chamomile, bearberry, black cherry, that kind of thing. So I'm looking at the system's screaming for some different herbs that have different properties on here. One of the things as well we'll look at is in the libraries. And again, you have everything except the libraries. And even when people are on their 15-day free trial, they want to try it out.
Okay.
We can send them libraries. So sometimes I've made up libraries, to do with coronavirus or ticks in the lines. It's I give out to people for free. So this virus, even the coronavirus, is worse. What's worse? Kissing disease, Epstein-Barr virus, right? Herpes virus. We haven't freaked out and quarantined half the place for that. There's more people with herpes kicking around, you know what I mean? Or, shingles from those viruses, from the zosters. So we have to put things in perspective. Huge thing is actually leaky gut, and it's a reminder here to tell her about pH is 7.4. I'd like her to go get some litmus paper and start monitoring your urine and saliva.
Okay.
It should be like a dark green, dark blue. Okay. Also in the ovaries and stuff, there's some sort of something going on. You can have polycystic and stuff like that, or something hormonal. And it's suggesting looking at what's called vaginal tampons, and also can get vaginal, what's called like a suppository. So they can go vaginally or rectally. Okay, so there's something definitely going on in the lower area. And some Bud Light and electrolyte imbalances there. Also, the radiation came up, and carbon C60 is something you can look at. It's a much more activated form than going into just activated charcoal, but nonetheless, I'd be on activated charcoal. So there's something getting into the blood system, and I'm seeing radiation, so high levels. There could be a nuclear leak somewhere around or something along that line. One of the things too, when we get into the spiritual protection thing, is different tones. So as people think singing, but you're chanting and that kind of thing. People do drumming. Really try and get the resonance up and in here. So that would be kind of the top things. And then of course, being an aromatherapist and herbologist, I just got to go into the oils. And one of the things here, you can go, so for her, our patchouli, and some people call it clove. I call it sea love. Sea love is such a loving plant, or clove. It's the highest antioxidant on the planet. And seriously, what it does is it goes in and starts, that's why you can use it for dental. It will numb.
Yes.
The oxygen is just like, almost like a hydrogen peroxide. So an ORAC scale of a million does it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back in. I've put all these wonderful things in her tray here. There's tons of stuff in the tray. And so I'm putting all her herbs and, different things along that line. And again, I could go into the spine. I could do anything. It usually takes me about an hour to do a read properly. And then we do therapy for another hour, or half an hour, something like that. Just to get started there and to see where we can go. So if we look at the auric field and open her pictures up, we're just going to scan the initial picture. I'm going to send the therapy to her for 3 minutes. And it doesn't have to be long to start making a big difference. This is something you don't have to do for an hour or two, or everyone wants to know, what are you doing for a session? I went, whatever has to be done. It's like house cleaning. You got to go clean where you got to clean. But you see what you can do within that. Okay. The colors in here, I know they're very hard to see, but there's a little bit of a blue, tiny little bit of purple, but basically everything is like, not quite butter, but it's like a goldy browny, murky stuff. Okay. This is a really suppressed immune system. Okay. Everything in the adrenals and the lower chakras down, even into the neck and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So there's definitely some major issues going on in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through here. We're going to play those tones. And I think just enough you can see on the camera. You can see that a visualization of the energies being pushed in and around. So every herb, every oil is being pushed in and around her right now. And us from listening to it. And again, every sound has got a tone. They have a tone. And we're tuning it in. So you can actually do organ regeneration, stuff like that, in there. So I just took someone that had stage 4 cancer, COPD, and was around the coronavirus and was vaccinated. And with these methodologies, the doctors still couldn't kill her. I took someone up from the attack group reserve. And it wasn't until their last resort was to stick 2 IVs in her and give her IV Dilaudid, which is what you use in the States for execution, for euthanasia. And Versad in the other leg, which you never give to anyone because it stops her breathing. And that's exactly what they did. They put 2 IVs in ports in both legs, gave her a couple injections, and they stopped her breathing. And they just didn't resuscitate her, even though that woman up to that point was totally coming along.
Oh my gosh.
So people, like, I mean, and they had given her 2-3 days to live, and I was still at this for 2 months. You know, and she'd had 13 rounds of chemo in 2 years. So we were actually getting rid of everything. I took 13 bowel movements out, like almost 10 pounds of stuff out of her in a week and a half. And then she was up walking and moving her legs and her root chakra, which she hadn't been able to do for over a year.
Wow.
So she had beat everything, but we could not keep up with IV direct push, you know. And again, there's a big thing on the market for organ harvesting and adrenochrome, which is obtained through blood, you know. So anyway, we've done that, and what I'm going to do is go back and you'll look at the second aura. I wish I had the colors in here. I was like, can I go really far back?
No, it's not helping. Every once in a while, your voice cuts out too.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. Dang. Anyway, it looks great. She'll love the pictures later. Okay, there's a pink, hot pink coming in here, and some blue and some green starting to heal.
Okay.
Okay. It's like, can I fool the camera somewhere on some angle? I don't know. No, not today.
That's
okay. But anyway, the blue actually hears about the blue that's in there, that dolphin thing, or whatever it is, and the pink's getting up there.
Okay.
It's absolutely like way better, way better. So again, that's the Genius Biofeedback. Again, when I had my centers, what do? I had a free library. You know, I had like $60,000 of educational material back 20 years ago. And what I did do then is have free sessions. And it was always gift and barter. I lost the stuff in there. So we're going to talk about amethyst beds. And the most important thing is to assess. You got to know what you got to know. Okay. And it's like a scale. It shows emotions and moods. So, I mean, your aura scale is just like a mood ring. You know, it is what it is. And so then the second thing is we put everyone on the massage tables like this. And then what we do is I would marinate you in probably close to a quarter bottle of essential oil. And so I have that amount going to my clients. So they take it either orally or on the skin or in food. So however you choose to do it. So when someone can't swallow pills, I put them in maple syrup, which is what I did with the woman that was really sick. And after a week, then she could start swallowing because, again, her throat chakra was going. They couldn't swallow. So it's okay to put things into chocolate or into puddings, or, you know, that's what we were having to do, apple juices and juicing. Very, very important when you're trying to clean the system out and go back to really rewombing. This is going back to birthing. If you want to have a new life, then you got to start from almost scratch zero. So the colonic machine really becomes that placenta like your mom. It's an artificial placenta. Instead of having to go for hemodialysis, that's what a colon hydrotherapy can do. If you're in Russia, you got to remember, and all the nurses were colon hydrotherapists, by the way, and herbologists till the 1920s. Okay. And again, when people have been taken to school or residential school, they're, again, through programming and schooling, we're trying to undoctor people now.
Yes.
I'm undoctoring you. I am uncooking you. You know, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of fun ones. But I think what we could do, I've got a little bit of time in here, and I thought what we could do is go in and look at some of the setups I have. If I have to run downtown because I'm redoing it's a total ozone in there and dealing with some naturopaths and stuff like that. So, and health centers starting to come in too. So again, if we use these kind of technologies, we don't need to be using microdosing, psychedelics. Again, there's no detox symptoms or healing crisis just because you're removing the toxins as they're coming out. And so, or a lot of people are doing cannabis, you can do it this way. But again, it's not altering the mind perceptions, and we're dealing with, again, what those original causes are, you know, and that's what we're responsible for. We've lost so much of our, you know, original customs, usages, and laws. Like the woman today I spoke to, she's actually like got the Russian Ukrainian background. So she just started speaking to her. She goes, what is that? And she just started crying. And I said, I kept telling you, I love you. I love you. I love you. And she just broke in because it's something in an ancestral memory, the genetics to our mothers. And that was it. I said, you're responsible for keeping your language, not taking on like the Buddhist thing and the cannabis thing and all this. You're responsible. This is our bloodlines. You're like a lost sister. I'm trying to get back, a lost soul. And I think that's really, really important that people look at tribal laws, Meredith Quinn, or what the original mother's lineages are, the mtDNA. So that's very, very important, because also if she's Rh positive, which she was, she's an original clan or tribe. People that are Rh negative can be hybridized. They could have been genetically modified. We see abductions, we see cloning, we see all sorts of things. And again, one is copper-based, one is iron-based. So even what you're deficient in is a huge thing as well. So it's not just eat right for your blood type, because we have like 50, 60 that I'm aware of, and alien and rare blood types that they don't teach in nursing at all, or school. That was not taught in any of my medical classes or pharmacology, or
I'm sure it was. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I mean, how do you operate when you're operating on that thing? So you've got public nursing and healthcare is like in the dark ages. That's like, that third dimension is like third grade compared to what we're doing when you're operating these. We operate with cosmic or international information that's way outside even a university level. I mean, they are so limited in what they can do. And being a nurse, I mean, that just gives me a common language, but it's not the original customs, usages, and laws, or the language or computer language of this land, which I think, people need to be aware of. When I started speaking to her, I started speaking in the original mother's tongue, like the motherland tongue, and they don't know what it is. And if you don't know that, then people have lost their soul, have been, captured or fragmented. And so this is a huge thing. People are responsible to be coming here and adding to the party, not taking it away or not knowing what it is, and again, that's that colonization and assimilation, which has not been helpful for any of us. So is it okay if we play? I think I've got a little bit of time, and I'd like to show some people some setups. Yes. I think this will be okay, because apparently it's not the computer, hopefully the scramble. So I think it's really, really important for people to find out where the resources are. If they want to learn about this, what we're doing, it's called Pulsed Energetic Magnetic Therapy, and it's by Bryant Myers. So it's an excellent, excellent book if you just need basics. If you're not looking at Genius Biofeedback or Genius Insight health apps, okay? The other thing is Yoni. So there's a great site called Steamy Chick. So you can talk to Kelly Garza, but we've got thousands of women doing this now, okay? You got to remember, this is commonplace. Like we might say Yoni. That's not even our language, but vagina, vertango, peak. I just learned another one the other day. peak for vagina. Up here, they call it pudding. And they kept saying, Karen, you got something for our puddings? And I went, you want me to give you what, chocolate pudding? Like, I wasn't sure what she was asking. And she said, pudding, that's their word. So again, vertango. I mean, people know it by lots of things. So, like I said, we have entire, now again, they're starting to bring it in and introduce it. I've been doing all this stuff to start bringing it into the hospitals, by the way. Okay. If you go to Asia, I've seen $3,000-4,000, that they use in their health centers of steam. We would call it a peri-sitz bath. It was disgusting what they taught me, in nursing, such limited information. Okay. But anyway, it is out there. And if you don't know about it, then the thing is to go do the researching. That's what we have internets for. So maybe just go through a couple planet things here too. Red Tent Wellness is an amazing site run by Lisa. She's in Florida. And these are what these little steamers look like, okay? And it's basically, you put your herbs in it and oils and crystals and spring water. I'm going to be all about the water. Spring water, findaspring.com if you don't know where it is. Spring water is photonic water. It's living water. It's chemistry and alchemical water. You do not get that through reverse osmosis or machines that ionize, okay? Can't get through tap. Even alkalized water is not the same bottled water as it is fresh from findaspring.com. So every 3 weeks, like today, a couple days, we're going up to Canmore. I'll take them all to Canmore, because right now you need to have the water to protect you against these viruses. So whether people know it or not, spring water actually helps as an antiviral. You don't need vaccines.
Can you tell us
viruses and bacteria?
the name of the person that wrote that book, please? I couldn't hear it.
Bryant Williams was initially on the pulse energetic health one. And this one is Satra Subhakanue, Yoni's name. And this one was Red Tent Wellness. And again, steamychick.com is if you're starting to look for, again, you can take any chair. And I'm going to show you how you can retrofit any chair, a ball chair, or
Okay.
do this without having to pay a couple $100. It's Red Tent Wellness. She's got 3 versions of this there, like Buck Sebastian and her. Yeah. So again, don't use the one on Amazon. I just found they come in with the wrong adapter plugs for North America.
Okay.
So again, having said that, very simple stuff. You don't have to be a reflexologist. What you have to do is feed your soul. And when you feed your soul, you might have to put this kind of soul on. And the reflexology points, you don't need to know it. Just marinate your feet with, whether it's 3 or whatever. We used to say anoint, but that's, people laugh when I say marinate. But some people used to call it raindrop technique. Some people aromatherapy, massage. I don't care what it is, but take a look to before the pyramids. What happened is that those people, again, the cadavers still have their skin because they didn't have coronavirus. Those oils here will take out viruses and bacteria. Okay, you do not need antibiotics, ever. And one of the other things I'm talking about here as well, like I said, there are many machines that were way here. This is like the Skill and IMAG. These are $30,000, $40,000 machines. Like I said, that Genus I just showed you off your phone, you can get that software for under 1,000. It's huge, and they do installments and stuff. I really recommend, again, there's David Wolf, to start looking at davidwolf.com. And he's got a website called Best Day Ever. So they're doing a juice thing, but all your black lemonade and stuff is in here. Some of the activated charcoal, the coated silver he just came out with. In fact, they just banned it. We couldn't even get the carbon C60 and the other stuff now. They banned it at the border. And that's what I came to Calgary for. And they couldn't bring it up. So we're going to have to figure out some ways to actually make things on site now. Biochar. So you can make things called biochar too. But anyway, the other one is Marcus Rothkrantz, M-A-R-K-U-S, Rothkrantz. Excellent stuff in there. Okay, and this is what people don't realize here, is that when you're looking at some of these different ideas of what you can be doing, the machines and the potentials, like I said, we can actually put people on with wristbands or not, but we actually can see changes in the blood, changes in the aura, changes in the spine, changes in iridology by doing these simple methodologies that we do. Okay, and there are nurses and doctors using this technology all over the world. I'm not the only one. But again, the infrared stuff, you're changing the structure. That's what you're doing. You're changing the bioelectrical field around you using things like the Genus. So again, these people in the lower things, these people dropping that are dying, it's because they're down here. They're already on their way out. Okay, it's like their old computer. They're operating on Windows what? You know what I mean? We're on Windows 7 and they're still operating on old systems or belief systems. Again, colon hydrotherapy is amazing. Okay, what I can do as a colon hydrotherapist. And the other thing I'll talk about will be Womb Sauna Institute. This is where you actually make like a little potpourri and put it in the vagina, whether people get it or not. But that's an excellent thing. And I really challenge anyone to look at womb or put yoni pearls or womb detox pearls, vaginal detox pearls, and then go scanning for images and you see what you get out of your clients. I get like their colors from their tattoos and their dyes coming out through their vagina.
Wow.
Okay, just like you would pee out toxins. The pee is actually clean, so we do a lot of people with urotherapy, which is okay. Your pads and these pearls coming out, the chemicals from their tattoos and stuff, which is not pretty. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about the amethyst crystal bed.
Okay.
These are detox beds that we use at the Biomat e-store.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I've had people go on them. They're copper grounding, earthing. They're an infrared and a negative ionic field. It's about 6 beds in one. And I've had people start reversing cancer, gangrene, that kind of thing. I've used these in all the hospitals, basically in Saskatoon. And again, I have people do simple things like gallbladder stuff and start getting their gallstones out overnight. You can take 3 glasses here before bed and start purging things out. You know, when your system's deficient, you need to get it. pH is the most important thing. This is a litmus paper. People can get home pH litmus paper. You can get it on Amazon. Any health store would do it. So normal is 7.4. Okay, that's like your blood. Your blood and your urine have got to be cleaned out. You got to start having alkaline blood, like clean blood every day. You don't operate with dirty stuff that's acidic.
Okay. I missed the gallbladder thing though. What did you say about that? You could do what for the gallbladder?
So everyone that's
Oh shoot, you're breaking up there.
disease will
Ah,
always be acidic.
okay.
So it's not just cancer, virus, or gallbladder. Right. Okay, so Dr. Hulda Clark at curezone.com or Andrew Moritz. There are lots of things on liver, gallbladder, flushes. Everything I'm showing you here with these kind of things are under a couple dollars to do. Okay, so you got to know what your starting point is, and people are responsible for being alkaline. So it's not about having alkaline water; it's about your system being alkaline. So I use these Easy-Desert pills from a place called SuedeHeals.com. So whether you have to learn to alkalize for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, till your system starts cleaning out, then that's what you have to do.
Okay.
You know, it's not just, you know, baking soda. It's not for everyone, especially with kidney problems too. And I use a lot of stuff too, like gold therapy or microblading over here because of the nanotechnology. And I also use cactus agave gloves that I use with all my clients here. People always think they're clean till I get in here. This is not aloof. This is a special cactus fabric that when you put essential oils on, starts removing some of the nanotech. Very, very amazing. Okay, so having said that, that's a few of the things that we went into. And again, if people have questions or they want to do sessions, you know, they certainly can phone. With this, if they want, they can always get a hold of me, or they can Google Genius Biofeedback and put free PDF manual. We have a manual hiding on the internet. So if you actually want to see how to do a session, how to do an overview, how to give yourself the herbs, you know, that type of thing, where the spectrums are, and why we're using the remedy plates. It's changing the water, which changes your blood. So what you're doing is you're changing the whole biofield around you.
Okay.
Okay. And it's really cool when you start seeing people that have got really poor fields and their fields are totally broken, and then we hook them up and then the whole field comes back again, the whole toroid around you. Beautiful. It's an amazing technology in here that's literally at our fingertips. And so that is one of the things I really highly suggest for people. And then what do I operate well? The other thing I was just going to say too, couple things I put for clients, not supplements. One is called Bioxy.
Now
and
that
Bioxy is a ozonated magnesium. I feel like a ghost. It's like fading in and out.
It is.
It's a powder you can take with lemon juice.
Your voice.
I know. I know. I'm getting shot here. I can feel it. Okay, so it's a white powder here called Bioxy.
Okay.
And you mix it with lemon juice. It starts oxygenating and starts taking care of the higher chakras and everything up into the small intestine. And brain fog is great. Okay. The other thing I use here, again, they're pixelating, is something called phytoberries. And phytoberries is all these different fruits. There's about 30, 40 fruits in here dehydrated. So it's 30 pounds into 1 pound. Okay. So something that would cost you $500, $600 in the grocery store is about $40, $50 per pound here. Okay, it's dehydrated. This mixed up, so every glass you make is like taking 30 glasses of fruit. And I find this has been the best thing for getting back. You can put it just into your smoothies. I put it into chocolate. I also just, the children will eat it straight because it's nice instead of Kool-Aid or pop. This is a great thing. And also it makes like a nice raspberry fruit tea. So you can have these hot or cold. Okay. Very, very important. I found people really bounce back quick. And again, having nutrition. We're having to overfeed you for a few months, right? So again, there's no starvation. And one of the things too, I just love this picture. This was a vaccine thing. I put this up, and the Health Canada Saskatchewan Union Nurses set up a public health thing and started trying to offer free flu shots 2-3 days later after I had a booth showing the shot. Oh. Vaccines are not, and cured by the meat. That's why they say with the cancer cure means to kill someone. You cure bacon, you hang it, you cure it. You smoke it till it's done. So we're not here to cure. Okay. And that's why they made the, again, 1939 Cancer Act saying you can't, it's illegal to say you can cure because they figure they're the only ones licensed to kill you. And I can say that as a nurse. That's what registration is, and birth certificates and all that kind of stuff. Chattel for the women. So anyway, we have to be very careful. The VAXX is not CC, but it's to microdose you. And what happens is that basically is to see what it is to break the XX, and that's the proper way, the XX chromosome of the women. So it's not just to sterilize you, it was actually targeted for the next 2-3 generations. And that's why you're seeing the children really, really ill now. Very hard to get some of the back. Okay, so on here, I wanted to show you just a couple different things here. And yeah, we're still doing okay. This is my amethyst biomat. This is where I put everyone on. They lie down and they have a moving experience. It's better than, like, it's not magic, but it's a great ride, let me tell you.
Yes.
And it has black kernel, and you can use other things. I can wrap it on people too, so it's great for people with low back pain, cancer, anything, hormones, better dreaming, lucid thing, and all that amethyst opens up the third eye. It really helps decalcify and move things out like heavy metals, nicotine, tobacco, coffee, that kind of thing, drug prescriptions, mercury fillings, that kind of thing. So it is actually a detox bed. Okay, so do all my fun stuff in there. And again, what I do is I get a whole bunch of what's called aromatherapy, and I use castor oil. So one of the things I do with my clients is I put down like a bag, as you can see, and then what I do is I will actually marinate their feet before reflexology or Vitaflex, and I take all these different oils and I drizzle them over you for about 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then I use castor oil, and then what I will do is actually use what's called a hot wet towel. So I wring this out and wrap it, either put it on your back or your tummy, which is like a castor oil pack, or on the feet. So I had this, for example, I kept them out. I just had her feet wrapped up. When I broke my knee, that's all I did. I didn't go to the hospital. I don't even have a health card. I don't even have a bank card for that matter. But I would put the oils on my knee every day and then put the hot wet towel on the plastic. And then after about 2 months, it rebuilt itself like being in the womb. This is all about rewombing. So very simple stuff. So easy things you can do, right? And the thing is, if you've never seen it, that's where it goes into. So this also is the remedy plate. I talked about that Genius Biofeedback right here. And again, it just operates off an iPad, phone, or whatever. And then these are the headphones you can put on at home.
Okay.
You can also have your glass of water and put this around here, just like praying on it. You'll pump the energy into it. So you can make now high frequency dense. And again, people that drink the water will notice it. It's smoother, it's silkier. So it can go into the organs or into the cellular and bypass some stuff. This is like a Tesla kind of coil remedy plate. And so what we actually do is put it on this, and it imprints, you know, the vitamins or the herbs or whatever we need into here.
Yes.
Okay, so that you have to get through Genius Biofeedback at Dr. Ariel Policano. Having said that, now my favorite thing. You ready?
Yes.
I'm gonna turn this camera around. So always, friends, I really have to be thankful to my host and hostesses here, to Dana Willisco. He's got inflow body stuff. They do what's called orthobiotomy and Reiki, and they're now setting up health centers here based on this technology. And Joanna Rogers, my hostess, is here. So without them, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing here. They're somewhere in the background energetically for us.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
The famous chair. The famous chair here. Okay. I think we can maybe open this up here now. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Okay. I showed you the other steamer here, you know, and this is seriously, as you can see, I went to Canadian Tire. It's a Canadian Tire, a crappy tire special. It's about $10. It can be a card chair. It can be a wood box. It can be anything. And what I did is I went to Rona and I offered the guy chocolates, which he went for. Thank you. Ordered my way through a lot of stuff. And no, I went to one of the guys and I said I need a 6-inch hole put in here. So that's what they did. Okay. And then I went to my upholsterer. We upholstered it because I wanted it more durable. But I've got a wood one, and you just have to look at Yoni's chairs. Okay. One of the things I did with my girlfriends, I don't know, have you ever gone to the beach? You know, those lawn chairs or beach chairs where you put your drink in, folds out, fabric. Okay. So that bowl chair, I said, are you attached to this? She goes, oh no, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, let's see what you got here. I said, are you really attached to this $10 chair? She goes, no. I said, do you have scissors? She goes, yes. So we opened up her ball chair and we cut a 6-7-inch hole. And we did the same thing. So what you want to do is actually drape it. So this is actually what the chair looks like. Okay.
Yes.
No big deal. We got that part. Now, I'm going to go see if I can go down here a little bit further. A little bit further. Okay, there we go. So down on the floor, what you see here It can be the regular hot plate, or you can just boil this up. Can you see the tea in here?
Yes. There it is.
Okay, that's a whole bunch of teas in there. Okay, so you can either just put like calendula, rose, lavender. It could be herbs. It could be anything that you like. Okay. Now, I usually put a cutting board down. This is an induction plate, or you can get a single steamer. I'm improvising.
Okay.
And don't wait till you have an induction plate. What you can do is boil this up on the stove and still put it down. And then you'll still get about 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
This will give you 35 minutes to an hour. Because what you do is you're constantly now putting it on. And I actually, like I said, you can get a single burner at Walmart for like, what? $15, $20. Okay. So that's the floor method. You can fully smudge. So if I'm standing over here, even if I don't have a chair yet, you can actually smudge up this way. But this gives you a full, what you call system avatar, not a body, but smudging up this way. Okay. And you're cleaning out the field. Remember, your immune system is out here, not in here. So inside out, outside in. And so that's part of it. Okay. And then what you do is you put your chair back over and you want it warm and misty, not hot and steamy. Okay. And so a lot of times what I do then is you need to make it like a tent. So that's why they call it the red tent, or a teepee. This was the original Sweat Lodge teachings, by the way. And you were kicked out of the lodge and out of the sisterhood if you didn't steam with your sisters. And after like rites of passage, they would always do this. It was intercourse, marrying, mating, after every menstrual period. But can you see how I've now got it tented?
Yes.
Okay. And then what you're doing is you're simply sitting on it. And so right now while I'm talking to you, I'm steaming my butt. And it can't go through clothing. So if you got natural clothing, I could sit here and still get some effect out of it. Again, what you are is usually naked, or from at least the waist down. Now I know why they all had tartans. Anyway, or skirts. And that's why they did that in the Sweat Lodge. Again, so much has been missed out with that. Again, you can be sitting here on Facebook, on YouTube, and I've done that many times. Having said that, there's another thing. A lot of people are getting dental issues, and the teeth going out is related to the 5G towers, and the street lights are now converted to a blue light LED microwave. And every street light is now putting 500 feet within it. It's now sending out blue light and radiation microwave. You're now getting chemo, which activates the viruses and bacteria. So having said that, this is another way just to steam up here. With the dental, what I've been doing is taking a tea bag, cutting it up, opening it up, and throwing some of the tea out and putting my own herbs back in or whatever. Roll it up like a cigarette and stick it in here. Okay. In the gum line. So I've been putting in things like zeolite, activated charcoal too. And that's something kind of like a dental pack, but again, very, very effective. Remember, what I'm showing you are things that can be absorbed. Okay. And what happens as well, I'm going to show you a couple things because most people have never heard of it. You know, like we take pills. You can get these clear vegetable caps. Oh, they're going to pixelate everything I can put up to the screen.
It's okay.
It's wild. Okay.
I'm writing stuff down as you say it, so I'll help people later.
Okay, there's a veggie capsule. Okay. The veggie cap can be filled with essential oils, like a drop of clove, a drop of oregano, and you can always put some castor oil or something else, or coconut oil or olive oil to dilute it. Very, very important. These can also be filled up with, you know, things that can be nice, like lavender, frankincense, also being put in rectally or vaginally, because this is vegetable cellulose that will just dissolve. It's food. Okay. Okay. So that's another option you've done. And then what I want to do is I'm going to show you something a lot of people have never seen here. I laughed. I did a show not too long ago, right? I was still doing, because I do still use this. I'm a nurse. Has some things when I'm doing colonics, so I want to listen, right? These aren't props, but seriously, I'd rather take the Genius Biofeedback because it's got a better sensitivity than I do. Again, you know, rose petals are in here, calendula is in here, lavender. You can't go wrong. You can just stick whatever couple tea bags in. I don't even care if you've had just green tea. Stick it in there. Matcha. It really doesn't matter. You know, people are too caught up in that. Ear coating is very cool. And if you haven't done your own ear candling, I would suggest you try it on yourself. Get some and do it out of the womb, out of the belly button. There's still connections in there, and you'll see stuff come out of there. So I do a lot of like womb trauma in the sacred chakra. Okay. Now, this is an enema bag. It looks like an IV bag, and what I suggest is everyone have one, especially these days. Okay. This replaces, again, you can put just herb tea in here, just salt water, aromatherapy water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you just grease up the end, and you always take the tip off. Don't laugh. I've had people not. And put it with some coconut or olive oil, and you just simply put it into the rectum that far. You can't pass it. You're not going into the colon. You're only going a couple inches where your poop comes out. But there's enough warm water in that root chakra. Again, where are you? In the lower root chakra, in the deep red, infrared. So you're doing actually much more stuff so you can hydrate. And a lot of people like say they get rid of wrinkles and their skin looks great. You know, the aging is from the dehydration. So what you're doing is really putting power back into you.
Great.
I think that's really important there. The other thing is you can look up is these, again, when I talked about the gel, these are like filled with herbs. It's like a herb tea congealed, right? And you can put them rectally or vaginally. This is for male or female. So you can make up your own, or you can order them online.
Okay.
The other thing too is what's called herbal tampons. And so you'll see a lot of Russian and Asians and stuff like this. They make a little herbal tampon, like a potpourri, and you insert it into the vagina every 3 days. And when you have infections, this is how they did parasite cleansing, by the way. So they would put it in except when they're menstruating, and they would do that every 3 days. So what does that look like when I open up the package? This is it.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, I make my own. I actually take what's called, you've heard of cheesecloth?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same idea.
Okay.
Okay. It's like a baby potpourri.
And what, I'm sorry, what goes in there for parasite cleanse?
Whatever you like, you could do, you know, your fat, like any of your herbs can go in here. So instead of taking an antibiotic pill or anything like that,
yes,
anything you can make, you can grind up fine, like a tea bag, and put it in here and insert it, just grease it up, and you pull it out every 3 days. You can look this up.
Every 3 days.
But you know, what you call a natural herb sachet. So Baba wasn't just making her underears like smell better. That's what it was for.
Yes.
Okay. Again, a lot of people, they don't know, you know, whether you did lavender or did everything else in there, but a natural herb can go in there. So just grease it up, and they will put sometimes 2-3 of them in, you know, and a cleanse is considered, you know, 3 pills like for 9 days. So basically the only time they don't steam and they don't do this is when you're menstruating. Sometimes people with IUDs, and again, people that have got IUDs, they really have to re-educate themselves and re-educate and look at their brains. Okay, with 5G and microwaves right now, you're sitting with heavy metals and copper rings and all sorts of things like this. And if you've ever put a spoon in a microwave, you'll think twice about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you've seen what happens when you put popcorn in or something like that with microwave or the cell phones, yeah, it's huge. They're going to sterilize all these women that way.
Mm.
You know, and right now you're getting leaky grain and leaky butt, but leaky vagina. So again, if you were doing these sort of things, you would never need a hysterectomy. The guys would never need Viagra. So all these things for men, oh my gosh, I have couples that love me. I've got couples that have just started making like actually little wood saunas like this. Instead of a chair, you can make a wood sauna. My girlfriend does that at Evolve One, but she calls them muluk chairs or, you know, whatever in there. So these are a lot of things to get. Most people never thought of, they don't look at. We use salmaki, a Nushador Indian thing, minerals. And then I'm up by Saskatoon. There's something called Manitou salts. So Manitou means creator. Again, the feminine, the creator's female. It's not even God and Goddess. It was always Manitou, like the original words, you know, in there. Like I said, a lot of people are missing it. Ozone's another thing. I talked about the Pure O3. There it is.
Okay.
You know, you can get ozonated cream. You can get ozonated water things now for like $30, $40, $50 on Amazon. I just looked at a nebulizer off Amazon. I just ordered 2. So you can put colloidal silver in, not just taking in, and this is the new David Wolf colloidal silver. It's 20,000 parts per million.
Wow.
Okay. And when you open it up like his thing, you can see how dark it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So again, 1 drop will do you in a glass of water or nebulizing. So what I did is when I got this, these aren't even labeled yet because they're hot off the press. But this is like the yoga spray here.
Okay.
You can even put your sprays in with colloidal silver too. you know, and misting around. Like I said, everything's got a frequency. This can do stuff on surface, but it's limited. You can also steam around you. So when you're steaming, the steam penetrates in. This does it. This is surface. Aromatherapy is surface. Steaming, and that's what I mean. But I could sit on that steamer here chair and just let it mist up, right? There you go. So those are some things too. Like I said, getting some really basics in there. Like I said, the difference between this and very hard to find. I still have 500 parts per million on my silver. Okay, most of what you see is 20, but even that'll do it. You know, I use you know, like colloidal silver and stuff like that, even for like flushing eyes and stuff like that. You know, again, very, very basic stuff. But the aromatherapy is got to be the most funnest thing. And this sits in my kitchen, in my bathroom, everywhere. You know, so, you know, I'm putting orange into my water. I'm putting orange into my chocolate balls. I'm putting orange, you know, lemon into my salad dressing. Remember that all the people dying of coronavirus, cancer, whatever, are in the 40, 50 hertz. By the time you're dropped into this chakra, you're below, again, where's the chakra? Below 300 hertz. But when you got cancer, you're in the 30s, coronavirus in those, and they only live in that frequency. So don't live where they live. Don't allow yourself to become the hostess for it, or host. And that's really that simple. So if you don't have anything that they want to eat, which is acidic, bread, wheat, dairy, animals, they love to thrive. It's like a parasite in nature, right? They like to thrive like maggots on anything dying and decaying. And so the people that are dying right now, it's because they're rotting inside and they're decaying. And some of us can smell it. That's the frequency. As a nurse, you can go, yeah, they got cancer. And again, that was in the vaccine. So the thing is to use these kind of things to unvax yourself, you know, and get your sovereignty back. And so you know, you can take hold of this. And, you know, like I said, there are many different things out there too. You know, like I said, carbon C60, if you don't have the black activated charcoal, these are all really dark, you know, in there. And again, shaga mushrooms. I mean, so many of these things here, like, again, these are not magic mushrooms. I'm not about altering my perceptive, but, you know, these are different, like, mushroom powders, like shaga, reishi, you know, anything off a tree. I mean, the whole life of the tree is accumulated in that little, and it's not even a mushroom, right? It's just, it's a mineralized thing that we pull off. So again, I'm doing some of the different salts. This is from Manitou again, like I just showed you that salt. This is what's underneath the salt cave underneath it. So this is not just potash, it's monatomic minerals. That's why in Manitou, actually all of us float. So if you came up to like I would just ask the team, I'd take you to Manitou to the spot and bring your bathing suit. And what would happen is you'd be floating in the pool here. Okay, so you don't sink, you float. I don't care if you're 3 pounds or 330 pounds, you float, because it's an enormous pool. And with the electrical magnetic field up here in the ley lines, people would have spontaneous healing. You know, cataracts and stuff like that, because you're remineralizing or regrounding. It's like putting you back into the ley line. It's very, very huge stuff. So it's not that it's anything special, but what I just showed you down here that I'm taking everything out of, that's actually my nursing medical kit, right? And as you can see, it's all food. It's all food based.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, you do not have to go into stuff too. Even people doing like magnetic therapy and stuff, just even get neodymium magnets and stuff. They're having TMJ, they're having pain on the foot, stuff like that. Poultices are huge, you know, using herbs and oils, castor oil, and like simple stuff. You know, it's nice to have a combination of science and art, you know, but we do. You are electrical magnetic. And as a nurse, when someone died, I used to run for the crash cart. We had to like juice you up like a battery, right? There's no salts, there's no juice in your batteries. And that's how simple it is. That's why that phone converts in the crystals. Again, our brain is crystal and the blood is crystallized. That resets the electrical magnetic field. It kickstarts your immune system. So instead of the crash cart here, you know, if I put my wristbands on or I get the headphones on or something like that, you're using this instead of a crash cart. And that's what we have to do, because people are just so demagnetized, you know.
Can I ask you, when someone buys the technology from you, they also get the little plate and the earphones?
What happens, the earphones, you can get headphones and stuff too, and wristbands. I don't actually sell it. I refer on. I'm kind of off the grid that way. I do a
Yes.
lot of different things. But however, Dr. Ariel Policano does that at geniusbiofeedback.com. And you can use me as a referral. That's not a problem. And then so does the developer, obviously, which is Ryan Williams at Genius Health Inside Apps. So I like going through Ariel as well, because she's also like a teacher trainer, and she's a therapist like I am. You know, and she's a naturopath doctor and a colon-headed therapist, and we're into superfoods and raw foods. So she's kind of like the dean, if you want to say, the school, so to speak.
Okay.
And so we set up things that, you know, if they just want to get that device, you can take anything in bits and pieces. You can get libraries now, you can get them later. But I'm just showing you how to improvise. The plates are usually a couple hundred.
Okay.
You know, you can take level 1, level 2. Instead of Reiki, I'd rather be people at this. This is medicine of the future. This is Star Trek today.
It sure is.
And it really is nice to bring back that, you know, as they call bear medicine, or, you know, again, they've been trying to reverse engineer this for so long. I mean, we actually have it, and it's available to the people on there. So, you know, getting a 2-week trial is really huge. You know, my woman actually that was, you know, reversing her stage 4 lung cancer and stuff and COPD, she had it. You know, these women are in their 60s, 70s. I've got 4-year-olds do it, and the oldest one I've had was actually in her 80s. She came to me with like a baseball kind of thing. So anyway, so I hope that really helps. And if they want to get a hold of me, they can get a hold of me on Facebook. I have about 4 or 5, or ClenMother13 with a K at Gmail.
With a K. Okay.
Yep. And I do people on Skype, Zoom, phone, snail mail, or whatever, email. And also Facebook Live, I actually like doing too. It's my virtual office. You do not need to be hooked up. We have this methodology, just like you and I are talking. This is my nursing office, so to speak. And it allows me to go in, because right now with this technology, I can't physically go to everyone's house, but right now I can go into an intensive care room where I've used this, you know, we've taken people out of comas doing this, you know, where I've done 20, 30 hours on them, and then sent their relatives in with the right herbs and oils and put it on their feet, and they came out of comas. So I've seen that. I've seen everything reverse, just about, if you can get it in time. Mm-hmm. And if you're willing to do the work. Like, I mean, it's not it, but you're willing to play. You're willing to invest in yourself. You're willing to think that you deserve love, that you're going to sit there and spend that half an hour, or whatever. Like I said, I could be steaming right now and still be at the computer. It's really sad to see. I taught this all to people, and I'm still seeing empty chairs in here, even though we went there, we got the herbs, we got this, we got the commode chairs, or another thing you can do, or camp chairs, you know. A lot of things that's with what you have existing. You don't have to go and buy. Most people I know have, you know, they can get spring water or whatever. And if you don't have it, you use what you got. Don't think you have to wait for the excuse. If you got tap water, then that's what you're going to use. You're going to put your organic herbs in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't wait. You know, I've had people say, oh, I can't do it because I can also do a toilet bowl version where I'd actually lift the lid of the toilet bowl, drape a towel underneath here in the toilet seat, and drop something in the toilet seat. Oh, I don't have an 11-inch bowl. I went, what, couldn't use a 6 or an 8 here? You know, I mean, again, excuses don't run that far when we can, you know, start looking at these techniques. So anyway, how's that for today?
Thank you so very much. I should have thought of the toilet thing while waiting for all my stuff, but I didn't. I had a lot going on. I just really thank you so much for coming today, because you gave us a lot more time than I ever thought. And I want to tell you that if anybody's listening, how she helped me was an intensive over the phone. So take her up on it, and it was beautiful having you. Thank you so much, Karen. There we go.
You're welcome. And I want to say that I'm at Project Ascension times where you can actually see me sitting down and actually teaching you how to do this. So Galactic Goddess, I did it on this year, and I've done some other stuff. So if people want 5G or they want the other stuff, Project Ascension's another one. I did some stuff with Terry Joyce at Freedom of Joyce, stuff like that. So there are other places. And my Facebook, I've got lots of my Facebook lives have got it. They're all stored there. And if you really want to see all the suppliers, go to my Facebook album. Just go to photos, Karen MacDonald photos, and then click on that. You'll see albums. Click on my albums, because everything's in here. You'll see 130 ways to do this. And the resources are, you know, if there's a video or a YouTube, my Facebook albums are an entire, forget the university. You could start a whole new nursing thing there alone.
I love that. Well, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
I'll come visit you in Saskatoon. I love Canada.
You do? Yeah, I just, yeah, you guys better start going quick.
I know.
I hear it. You guys got to the 23rd. They're going to start doing some major stuff.
Is it the 23rd? Well, my listeners will be happy to know. I thought I got 2 weeks, so yep, 23rd. Okay, well, bless you. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, you might have to bring your own toilet paper. I went to Calgary. We couldn't find a roll of toilet paper anywhere in Calgary. Now I hear it's in Saskatoon. So again, it's not a bad thing because hopefully we'll get rid of all the Monsanto stuff. He's not fun. I've talked to him. So we got to get to recycled things and start again. I said, once we get rid of this stuff, it's not coming back.
Right, yes, absolutely. Evidently, where the toilet paper went is where the enema stuff went. But it's coming, they tell me, Monday.
Yeah, we got to get the natural stuff. I came in, I showed one of the girls, like Joanna said, see, this is what you're supposed to be using. You are not supposed to be using Trimine and everything else, right? There's natural ways to do this. And we do, even pee wipes and stuff like that. But I said, you got to learn to camp and come here and, be a great guest. And I said, not leave a footprint. This is about people learning to garden. Right now, it's all going to be Seedy Saturday, but going down to get your local heritage heirloom seeds, not even organic heirloom seeds, heritage seeds.
I hope so. That'll be the time. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's time to camp and garden again. So we're going on vacation soon.
Good for you.
Okay, take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Nice to see you guys.